Well, welcome to my new channel. I am Ange, and I'm going to assume if you stopped here for one of three reasons. Either you're interested in starting a home health agency, or you're going through the process of starting a home health agency and you have a question along the way somewhere you're stuck, or you have an established home health agency and you're still stuck and you were trying to figure out how does this work out. That is me. I have been there. I've had those questions and I've jumped on YouTube and I've tried to find answers and I could not find it. So I decided to step out on faith because I'm an introvert and put these videos out in hopes that I can help another agency along the way with questions that I had and not make the same mistakes that I have made, not make the same financial mistakes I have made, because honestly, I went into this not knowing everything, and that is fine, right? But it was some things that it could have saved me. It could have saved my pockets. It could have saved me and my business partners a lot of headache. So with that being said, that is what this channel was made for. So I want to take you along on my journey, tell you how I got here, and answer any questions that you may have. So with that being said, let me tell you how this started. So a little bit about me. I come from a background, I originally was in healthcare. I have worked as a CNA, a home health aide. I have worked in the hospital as a tech, and honestly, I didn't like being a home health aide. I didn't like being a CNA, but along those times, I didn't like being a tech. I just didn't like working for anybody else. So Angela knew she always wanted her own business. And so this is not my first business that I created, right? This probably is the one that has caused me the most stress and headache. But anyways, so I knew years ago that I wanted to start my home health agency because when I would go into people's homes or I would deal with companies, I did not like how they were ran. Either the way they dealt with the clients, either how they dealt with the employees, their policies, whatever. I just knew I didn't like it. And I had a couple of friends that we had talked way back in the day, how if we ever got the chance, we would do it. So a little over a year ago, that friend of mine came to me and said, "Hey, Ange, what do you think about starting a home health agency?" Oh, okay, I'm for it. And so she was like, "All right, well, let's wrap our other friend into it and see if she's ready for it." And they were on board. So the question that I asked them several times was, "Are you guys sure?" Because any business is going to take some work. It's going to take some patience. It's not as pretty as it looks, right? People look at the money of businesses. They see the growth once a business have gotten there, right? They don't see what it takes to really start this business. They don't understand what people have to go through to get there, right? And so I wanted to make sure that they were on board. So they were on board, got on board. We actually dragged a fourth person into it, right? And so here we are. We came up with the business name, right? We did all the basic things that everybody knows. Basic thing, LLC, EIN, all of that, right? So once we got back all of that, it was time, applying on the state website, which was Indiana for us. And for the most part, not for the most part, but basically a lot of things will be the same state to state, but you also have to know when you get to a certain point, what the state requires. Do they require you to have so many clients? You also have to keep in mind, are you going to take Medicaid, Medicare? Okay, but let me get back to that. So we get started, we're getting going. The two that are, so it's two of us that are more administrator, business, can do like type of policies and procedures and all of that we need, do the research part. The other two were nurses, right? So the thing was, hey, we would have these as our nurses, as our clinical, and we would be administrator, right? And work on all of that. So we did that, put hours and hours on it. So our business kind of went really fast because once I get started with something, I get started with something, right? So we did that. Go along the way, boom. And we would meet because you have to meet. If you don't know, you have to have minute meetings. It's a state requirement in Indiana. So just know that right there. And that's just one of the little things you have to have because it will be little things that you don't know about that you will need because when it comes survey time, they will be like, "Oh, do you have this? Do you have this?" And you have to have it. And if you don't have it, it's a problem. Guarantee you. So if you think that you need it, go ahead and just get it. That way, if you don't need it, you're fine, but you're covered, right? But we go along the way. We're only 2 months in. And remind you, at this point, we hadn't even put much money in. We had only paid for our LLC. We had paid for our business phone, our website, which everything is that myself and someone else did. that we did together. Her and I would work on it, and put all this together. And at this point, I didn't expect anything from the nursing staff because I knew that they, they're nurses. They're going to be out in the field. Once we get to that point, there's nothing that I can do about that because I'm not a nurse, right? I am a home health aide. And I really didn't want to go in the field, but I knew if I had to go in the field for so long, I would, because you're not just going to get employees like that and you don't get the revenue to pay employees like that. But we'll get there also. So anyways, we are maybe 2 months in. We're rolling. We're actually getting ready we actually did submit our stuff to the state, because now you have to submit your stuff to the state. Once you have certain documents, you can then go ahead and submit your stuff to the state to try to get your provisional license, right? So we were at that point where we had to submit first. Well, let me take that back. You had to submit it first to make sure that, the owners were the owners so that they can give you the documentation for your. And boom, one of the business partners decided she couldn't do it for whatever reason. We were like, okay, fine, cool, whatever. We'll take care of everything. Or I said, I'll take everything. I'm having her removed, even though we had literally just submitted this stuff. So part of me was kind of upset, but part of me was very grateful that she went ahead and told us now versus so much later after we've, I was just grateful that she told me right then and there, right? So had to do that, had to resubmit it back to the state. And let me just tell you, state kicked it back to us for things. So those are things that you will run into, right? So you will also run into, if you decide, hey, when in Indiana, you will either have to take 3 or 10 clients, depending on which way you want to go. Are you going to do private pay? Are you going to do Medicaid? Are you going to do Medicare? All of those will come with playing a part on how you are surveyed, because you're going to have a survey regardless, because you'll get your provisional license, right? And you only have your provisional license for so long. And then with your provisional license too, you have to tell the state within that time frame that you're ready, right? But you can also ask for an extension, right? But you have to do it within so much time. So when you get that provisional, read through everything, read through all the requirements. And another mistake I made is don't go pay somebody just because they say they have this expertise. Make them show you their work. If I would personally say, if they don't have their own home health agency and haven't already made the mistakes and they just label themselves as somebody that can guide you along, I would think twice. We lost money there too. I will just be honest. Like I said, I'm going to be very authentic with this. We lost money there thinking we had somebody that could guide us along the way too. So I've said after that, absolutely not. We will figure this out ourselves. We've gotten this far, and we had gotten so far. And then let's talk about, you will need a system, right? So I won't tell you what system I use. I'll let you do your research. Now, if you ask me if you send me an inbox asking for a recommendation, I will tell you which one I use. It's no secret. If you ask me down in the comments, I will tell you it's no secret, but I don't want to put one in your head and say, because I can tell you the pros and cons of each one. So if you want a video on that, I can do that too. So this video is just to give you an overcap of my journey, but I will eventually go into my other videos on, maybe I will go into why I picked this system. I will go into insurance. Do you need insurance? Do you need workman's comp? Those are also things. Financial is going to be a big thing. It's time to, now you have clients, right? Indiana, you might have to take pro bono clients, right? Because you can't receive Medicaid or Medicare right away, right? Until you have your actual license. A provisional license does not allow you to go get Medicaid and Medicare. So those are also things you want to consider. I have so much information, but like and subscribe if you want more information, and I will continue to give you guys, answer questions and deliver any information you want.